Hey heroes, welcome back. I want to go over a couple comments that were left on our video from earlier this week. We were talking about Season 1, Episode 1, where do we think it's going to end? Every Monday we're kind of looking at what are we going to cut, what are we going to keep? And recently we found out that these episode titles that are out potentially, that are whether they're leaked or confirmed, we don't really know. But I want to go over them real quick with you guys and kind of add to our conversation. Episode 1, Leave Taking. Episode 2, Shadows Waiting. Episode 3, A Place of Safety. Episode 4, The Dragon Reborn. Episode 5, Blood Calls Blood. Episode 6, The Flame of Tarvalin. So, you know, I've seen some of the Instagram posts and things from the actors holding up the scripts for 5 and 6. And I was not sure, though, what episodes 1 through 4 were going to be. And so if that's the case, that's exciting. That's really interesting. We got some great comments about the idea that these first 2 books may happen in the first season. And wow, that's a lot. That's intense. That's really cool. So we will have to see. So let's dive into this here and take a look at these comments. First up, we have some comments from the Daily Trolloc Reddit. Thanks again to Narg for posting us in there. We really appreciate it. I'd end with them riding from Emmons Field, with a close-up of Rand looking over his shoulder as his home dwindles on the horizon, his face doing some heavy lifting to show what he's feeling. Smash cut to black. An alternative take would be to cut to a crow in a tree watching them leave, which then flies off. Smash cut. Obviously, this one would require establishing the crows / ravens / rats thing in episode 1. The question between the two is whether to develop your tension by focusing on the characters or on their obstacles. I'd prefer the former. I like the idea of a nice close-up of Rand as he's looking back, leaving Emmons Field and not knowing if he's going to return. I think that would be, that would be fascinating, really, for all the characters. Any of them to kind of turn back and look at that would be fascinating. And then, yes, a spy network, establishing that early on, these ravens and these rats, right, that possibly are spying for the Dark One, and we have to look out for them. I think establishing that early is important. I think that's a good idea. All right, next up, Narg sticking with his prediction of episode 1, ending with Rand looking out at an angry mob in front of the inn. Then episode 2, starting with Moiraine confronting them. Ends one episode with tension and starts the next with a bang. Yeah, Narg, I love this. Do we end an episode with a lot of tension, suspense? Is there a cliffhanger or something? And then boom, we kick it off again with the next episode. I think that's really important. That was something that was it left people in Game of Thrones talking at the water cooler the next day at work, on Monday morning about what did you think about that episode? What do you think is going to happen next? I mean, so if we can generate that type of conversation again, I think that'd be awesome and fascinating, and that's the way to go, for sure. Next up, I would have said ending with Moiraine's threat to kill the boys before letting the Dark One have them would have been a perfect cut to black moment for the first episode. Either that or maybe ending with Rand observing with apprehension as Moiraine teaches Egwene to touch the source. But we already know that Tarn Ferry happens in episode 2, so maybe just the Drakkar appearing and Lan yelling at everyone to run. However, I ultimately think that there is a good chance that it will be a new off-screen scene created specifically to be the perfect episode 1 ending scene. Maybe something setting up a new twist down the line involving the White Cloaks or Loghain's storyline. Yes, there's been a lot of talk. Sir Matt and I just recorded an episode where we looked at these castings and what are their implications and what does it mean that we have Loghain cast, and you look at the Eye of the World and even the Great Hunt. I mean, his role there is not very big. So what does this mean? Are we must obviously be giving him a bigger role, or we're showing more of his rise and his downfall, and really setting him up to be a pretty big character. So yeah, I think that would be really interesting. Next up, I've always pictured episode 1 ending with Rand trying to get Tam back to town after the Trolloc attack, but that might not put Moiraine as the main character enough. Narg's idea makes sense too, with maybe more of the Winter Night attack showing scenes of Moiraine and Lan defending Emmons Field, cut between scenes of Rand and Tam at the farm, and Mat and Perrin and Egwene and Nynaeve in town. I somewhat anticipate showing a little, but not a ton, of the events of New Spring at the beginning, to help contextualize the prologue. If they show that episode 1, maybe Moiraine learning the story of Lews Therin's downfall while studying at the tower, then a bit of context of her mission. and to set her up as the main character to help throw off the scent of which boy she is looking for. I can totally see them doing that, right? I mean, if you know you're bringing in this larger audience and they don't know which boy we're looking for, put them in sort of Moraine's shoes, and she has these clues. She has some of this prophecy, Luce Theron's backstory, and she's trying to figure out which of these boys is going to fit. And then we are also kind of there trying to figure it out as well. I think that's fascinating. I think that'd be really cool and a really good way to do it. So I like that. Moving on to our YouTube comments, here we go. I like the video, but personally I think they will do the first 2 books as one season. If they want to adapt the whole series and not have 14 seasons, that would be crazy, they will have to condense some stuff. Also, the episode titles that have been confirmed or leaked suggest that season 1 will be 2 books. Here's a video I think does a good job breaking down how they might do Eye of the World in 4 episodes. I also think they might combine the Eye of the World and New Spring. I think Rafe also said that they were going to expand Loghain's story, and he was one of the first castings they confirmed. Yeah, awesome, great thoughts, and definitely folks should go check that out. That's Nablus, his YouTube channel, where he kind of takes a look at the first 4 episodes and tries to see how would you fit Eye of the World into 4 episodes. And it's fascinating. Kind of uses Game of Thrones to see, like, is that possible? What did they do there? Jumping between points of view. And it's really good, so you should definitely go check it out. And yeah, again, these are they leaked? Are they confirmed? These episode titles, if they're confirmed, that does say a lot. I mean, that's very interesting. And again, the casting information, looking like we're going to be getting some New Spring stuff based upon some of the casting we have. Maybe getting more stuff with Loghain. I think they're definitely going to start storylines sooner. And wow, I just keep thinking, Matt and I had it at about 6, episode 6 at the, for the end of the Eye of the World. And now going back and rethinking that and thinking maybe it's 4. Wow. I think that's a lot. That's fascinating. And, I'm gonna have to like think about that a little bit. So yeah, great thoughts. All right. And last but not least, Lady Heather, thanks so much. Great video as always. I tend to think the first episode will cut after they've crossed the Tauren or when they get to Baerlon. I agree with Silas that the first season will cover the first 2 books with some New Spring. I don't think the whole book will be done yet, as well as new content thrown in there. The books are enormous, but think about how many pages of description can be covered in seconds of television. And yeah, we did kind of talk a little bit about how you can show very like quick little scenes of different campsites or them traveling. Lump dialogue together and things like that. There's a lot that you can do with technology to really push this forward. So I like that. And again, I'll say it again. I thought we were pushing it at 6. I thought, man, 6 episodes, Eye of the World, people are going to be like, well, I don't know. And this idea of 4 is just mind-blowing. It's fantastic, and I look forward to discussing it more with Sir Matt and really see what he thinks here because it's great. So yeah, and again, Lady Heather brought up New Spring and it being relevant and being a part of this, and that's really cool. Again, they've said that Moiraine is going to be the main character here. We're really going to see this through her eyes, and we're going to learn what she has learned about the prophecies and Luce Theron. So that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge to the perception, to the point of view that we have with Eye of the World. So I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it. So yeah. All right. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate all the comments and participation that you guys provide to us and everything. It's been fantastic. It's just a lot of fun to speculate and think and talk about these topics. So next week we kind of have a controversial one. We'll see Wednesday. Tune in for that. Should be a lot of fun. And then we're also going to sprinkle in a couple of these Wheel of Time explained videos that we've been working on, which we hope you like, and we look forward to doing more of those. The Wheel of Time is vast, and there's just so much to it, and it's such a great series. And I'm just so glad that they're converting this into that they're doing this TV adaptation. It's gonna be fantastic. So thanks again. Please like and subscribe. Remember that the horn has sounded, and the grave is no bar.